After such a lengthy subject, it's nice to have something lighter, isn't it? Which is why I shall be covering the first refraction line. The mirror dungeon was not the only place that could be accessed with the mirror technology of Yi Sang. There is a line that's available for a short time. A line where opponents both familiar and new could be fought. Defeating them could yield great rewards. The damned dozen needed to choose their identities wisely, should they seek to test themselves against these threats. As once they chose the identities, they couldn't change them. If they were injured in battle, they'd need to sit the next battle out if they wanted to recover from those injuries, likely with Dante's help. Although if they die in battle, they'd stay dead until the refraction line was done. There was also a twist with the battle. Those fought on the refraction line would be much more durable than the originals, at least compared to those that they fought previously. The refraction rate of each opponent increasing as the damned dozen goes deeper into it, making the battles proportionately harder. This required Dante to choose both the identities used and also who would be sent into battle wisely, as if it was hard the first time. Ooh, they'd be boned if they chose recklessly. Let's start with the first stop. The G-Corp head manager and some G-Corp soldiers. Gregor's former superior during the Smoke War, who accused him of deserting, even though it doesn't matter that much now, due to that G-Corp falling. And they're all wing remnants. These are distorted echoes of the originals, and gives the idea of what to expect for the rest of the stops on this line. The second stop was Aida, the leader of those mariachis! The Mexican-themed syndicate that sees gambling as fun, and makes sure that those that don't see it as fun dance with the maracas. She was accompanied with more of her syndicates and some of the Taigu crew, a rival syndicate that's big on being bare-chested with tattoos, dealing psychological damage using their mouths in a way that Deadpool would be proud of. The third stop had an abnormality that was previously encountered in the Mirror Dungeon, but not here, and it certainly wasn't fought against. It was the Blubbering Toad, an abnormality that eats away at the sanity/morale of those that fight it, while in the Mirror Dungeon, its gift lowered the defense of those that received a Tremor Burst. There's also an event where both of its eyes are destroyed, where if successful, the Blubbering Toad is instantly staggered, and the one that was successful would get some sanity healed, but if they were unsuccessful, then they would be completely broken. And Egeo corrosion will set in. And this is a Zayn level abnormality. Then on top form, as they arrive at stop 4, they received a rematch against Guido and some N-Corp Inquisitors. Guido being one that assisted Chroma, the one who grips with killing Sinclair's parents due to them having prosthetics. And later, the whole town of Kor seeing prosthetic users and those that defended them as heretics. She was helping to do some nasty things, and Guido was all too willing to assist her. Yes, and this is considering that she killed Sinclair's parents and his sister. Thankfully, Guido was shot in the head by Sard with her last bullet inside the branch facility under Kor, which was accessible via what used to be Sinclair's family home. Couldn't happen to a more zealous guy. Stop 5 was the domain of the alleyway watchdog, an electrifying cerebropsych abnormality, HIH level. This one used a combination of bleeding, debuffs, and mostly rupture, which is dealt as it was inflicted, while attacking normally. When each part was staggered, that part became unable to attack for a turn. Stop 6 had a new abnormality, KQE-1J-23, a biomechanical tour guide whom it greeted, providing the one who greeted it with a pinpoint logic circuit which inflicted burn if the sinners used envy or burn attacks. Ideal for the Lu Association then. This one charges up with its, well, for its more effective attacks. And how to defeat it? Well, let us just say it involved getting to the heart of the matter. Stop 7 had the headless Icavius. It liked to weaken the sinners in both offense and defense, even slowing them down. While its strongest attack involved shooting blood in a stream from the neck stump. Yeah, you heard me correctly. Stop 8 involved Egeo-corroded Inquisitors, each being wielded by Mimicry, the Egeo of Nothing There, one of the few and most dangerous Aleph abnormalities, a prototype of which was wielded by Kali, the Red Mist. Stop 9 involves something that thankfully wasn't encountered before in the District 11 immigration checkpoint. Otherwise, they'd all be dead and stay dead. And it was Class 3 K-Corp staff. Thankfully, they didn't see any of them around. That's what I'm talking about. Class 3s are for threats that standard security, augmented with HP bullets, can't handle. And Virgilius is likely to look the other way about this, as long as it doesn't impact on duties. Yes, the Class 3 staff are especially dangerous if empowered, although the empowerment has its own risk, as it can overdose on HP bullets at the cost of durability. Stop 10 involved the snake-armed Inquisitor, and a couple of four-legged beasts. Not sure which abnormality, or more specifically its EGO, came from, considering their own efforts. Yes. Not... Now I remember what we need to cover next. Stop 11, where it involves a team of both the Anyway Watchdog and the Headless Ichthys. I mean, one of these was bad enough, but both of them at the same time with more HP? Stop 12 involves a rematch with a more durable version of Chroma, including the distorted form and the boss battle theme from Millie. Honestly, with the tougher boss battles, this is why Sin resources are carried over, for use in dealing with this, to use with EGO. Something which was tough to deal with the first time. Now Chroma, being the one who led the attack on the town of Kor, massacring both prosthetic users and those that weren't supporting the hammer and nail. Yes, the hammer and nail, the more psychotic elements of Encore, the main antagonistic group of Limbus Company. She ruined Sinclair's life, all because of the vision of the future, well, a future, where he joined the hammer and nail. She didn't understand that she ended up destroying that possibility with her actions. On Stop 13, there's My Form Empties, an abnormality that can be compared to White Knight. Both are corrupted versions of something religious. With White Knight, it's an angel from Christianity, the biblically accurate kind. With My Form Empties, it's the Buddha. Also, the main difference is that the latter is easy mode, as White Knight is an LF type, and also the most dangerous of all known abnormalities. It could wipe out Baba Yaga as if that one was nothing, regardless of that one being, well, kaiju sized. My Form Empties is a Wa type. Not as bad, but still a force to be reckoned with. It's not alone either. It has the assistance of Guido, Aida, and the old G-Corp head manager. It can withstand a lot of punishment due to protection that exists as long as there's at least one ally. Although, if too much bad karma is transferred to them, karmic retribution will come for them quickly. And it will come for them quickly via My Form Empties. The kind that doesn't wait to come and bite the one that has it in the... It'll just punch them in the face. More refraction lines will appear eventually, with opponents that are either tougher variants of the familiar, or those that have yet to be encountered in the main story. They will not be the same as the first refraction line, and they will be relatively fleeting encounters, to be dealt with while they're available. Likely another training method devised by Yi Sang and possibly Faust, to prepare themselves and the others for the road ahead, as it's not going to get any easier as time goes by. They needed to grow stronger to be able to deal with threats like Chroma, or worse. They need to be able to make the most of what they had, so that they could fight smarter rather than harder. The golden bars will likely be harder to acquire, and there's no guarantee that diplomacy is something that the enemy is open to. It definitely won't be when they eventually get to Encore, or at least the faction led by Gubo, as they're largely keeping a low profile for now. Why try and take more golden bars when they're expecting this to happen? let them get the rest and wait for Limbus Company to come to them. All while preparing a defense in a battlefield where they can have as much of an advantage as they can devise. Yes, as much as they can devise. But that's quite some time from now. Before that, there's a matter that needs to be dealt with. As for the abnormalities of Season 1, I'll cover that in its separate video, along with identities. And I'll save that one for last. Chapter 3.5 is next. So, until next time. Hail the rabbit!